This is Ryan Watches a Movie, where we get our friend Ryan to watch a movie and tell us what he thought.
Gun balls out in the lumberyard watching the Grunion crawl magi. Little kids got naked and had lots of sex. Don't even waste your time.
Hello and welcome to Ryan Watches a Movie. This is episode number 83. My name is Adam. Today we're joined by Kevin. How are you, Kevin?
I'm doing alright.
And we're also joined by Ryan. How are you?
I'm confused.
Confused? Well, yeah.
Understandable.
Yeah. What movie do we have you watch this week?
House.
House. This is the Japanese film from 1977. Picked this in honor of Insidious Chapter 2 coming out this week. I'm not even gonna bother trying to pronounce his name because I'll just completely butcher it.
Nobuhiko Obayashi.
Okay, there you go. That sounds pretty...
I think I fucking nailed it.
I
Really.
think you did. I do have a...
I want to hear Ryan try and say it real quick, though.
Okay, go ahead, Ryan.
Nobuhiko Obayashi.
The second half of that was pretty good.
The second half's like Kobayashi.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, I do have a synopsis here. When O'Share finds out that her father's girlfriend is joining them on their summer trip, she and her friends decide to go to her aunt's farmhouse instead. From the moment they arrive, strange things begin to happen, and the girls slowly begin to realize O'Share's aunt may not have the best interest in mind. Have their best interest in mind. Completely butchered that. Ryan, why don't you tell us a little bit about House?
There's lots of weird names. Like, there's like 7 girls in this, and each one has a very odd name. Like, one's called Gorgeous, one's called Kung Fu, because she does Kung Fu. There's some long weird names, which makes it even more difficult to follow. But
I thought that made it a lot easier to follow than if they used their real names.
I was just too focused on their ridiculous nicknames. And the girl that tried to eat everything all the time.
Mac.
Yeah.
Her name was Mac.
What? Like, they even comment on it in the movie. That's a good nickname. What the fuck does Mac have to do with eating?
Maybe Big Mac? Or maybe Mac Truck.
She wasn't overly obese.
No, she was, compared with the other girls, she was a little heavier, but...
Was she husky? She was husky.
A little husky.
She was a little husky.
She wasn't that big. But yeah, it was like each girl was kind of a stereotype of some sort. Like there was the nerdy girl, the overweight girl, the hot girl, the dreamer, the musician.
Basically, Gorge's dad brings a new lady home, and it's her new stepmom, and she decides to go hang out with her aunt for the summer instead of hanging out with her new mom. And they go there, and I need you guys to explain this to me.
Well, it's basically her aunt is dead and the house is haunted. That's pretty much it.
But you don't know that until a lot later, correct? Because it didn't hit me until like halfway through the movie.
Well, you don't know the aunt's dead right away.
But I would hope that you would know that the house is haunted.
Yeah, I mean, like, as soon as they get there, stuff starts happening.
And there's weird, like, stop motion animation and, like, the effects. Like, one girl spontaneously combusts, and it's like cartoon fire. It's not like she's on fire, it's like you're watching a cartoon that's on fire. And it was just ridiculous. Like, that's probably another reason it confused me. because I was too focused on
The names.
all the terrible and idiotic things that were happening.
There's a lot of I think that it is a weird movie, and
Mm-hmm.
it's nearly impossible to try to figure out why things are happening and what's going on. Um, but and they did use a lot of really weird, really bad compositing and a lot of odd camera tricks and stuff. Like
They do.
they sometimes they reverse it, sometimes they slow the frame rate down so that it's like really choppy looking.
And
Uh,
sometimes they like draw the focus into one little round part.
yeah, and sometimes they'll do like a freeze frame, but then have the scene continuing over top of it. Oh, it's just
Is this movie
crazy.
supposed
It
to be
is
a
bizarre.
horror movie?
Yeah.
I
sorta.
think that it's considered a horror comedy
Mm-hmm.
because throughout the whole film, there's this kind of goofy, tongue-in-cheek sort of tone to everything. Even when stuff gets really serious, there's always that that music playing in the
Yeah,
background. That's
the
always
music is also ridiculous.
And all the like animation sequences were purposely done that way.
yeah.
And a lot of the actual ideas for the movie come from the director's daughter, because he wanted things to not make sense.
Why do Asian people, it seems like they always do that. When they make movies or TV shows or whatever, they try to make them as confusing as possible. And as weird as possible.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
usually pretty good at making weird stuff.
Yeah, there is a lot of weird.
I mean, have you ever seen a piano eat someone before?
No.
And I love how she was so happy about it too when it ate her fingers off.
I know. She's like, yeah, it's cool. And then it bites her arm off, and then she freaks out about it.
Yeah, the
Even
piano.
even though previously her fingers were missing.
Well, I mean, the
She's
piano
fine
just took it
with
a bit
it.
too far.
Yeah,
I
the
think
fingers
that's what
are
it was.
okay, but once it starts eating the whole arm,
Yeah, come on. That's just.
it reminded me of like a Tim and Eric skit or something.
It
You know,
kind of did, yeah.
where there's this just kind of low quality, just crazy stuff
It's
going on.
if you. I actually have watched a short film by the same director called Emotion, which was sort of about like vampires, and he did the same thing. He just threw every single camera trick that he knew how to do into the story and made it really bizarre. And then, like at the end, he just essentially came out and said that it was just him and a group of his buddies and friends just wanting to make a fun horror film. And I feel like House is the same thing. It's just a bunch of people getting together, making a weird movie and having fun.
Yeah,
The only thing that scared me about this was the fact there were Asian people.
Oh, okay.
Because that always like
What the fuck does that mean?
No, like the original Grudge. Like Asian
So you're saying Asian
horror
people
movies
scare you?
Asian horror movies terrify me.
Okay.
Because they know how to do horror, but beyond that, there was nothing in this that scared me.
I thought there was some kind of creepy stuff. There was the one scene when Gorgeous is looking at the mirror and it starts to like crack, and then there's like that crazy like vampire image, and I thought that was kind of freaky. The weird hair thing when she's taking a bath, when it like wraps up around her and stuff. That was hair. For some reason, when they do in Japanese horror films, when they do hair stuff, it's always weird. Oh, that always
Yeah.
freaks me out.
Yeah, there's a lot of they do focus on hair a lot. It always seems to pop up in horror films.
For the first part of this movie, I was also trying to figure out if the main Gorgeous, if she's the girl from Transporter, and then Afterwards, I realized this movie is made like 20 years before that.
Well, yeah, you actually brought up a good point. This movie looks really good for 77. Like,
Yeah, it
aside,
looks newer.
yeah, aside from the music, you really can't tell that it's from 77 at all. And maybe that has to do with Criterion, being really good at remastering it, but it looks really good.
Yeah, I would definitely say that they play a part. Because have you ever seen, oh, I'm sure you have, like older films, like put out by maybe like Kino
Hmm.
or trying to think of some of the other like Criterion wannabes. And I mean, they just look terrible. They look so awful. So
Yeah.
Criterion definitely does a bang up job.
There's also like in the movie there's no dead giveaways as to when it's supposed to take place either. Like the clothing that they wear it's not like overtly 70s style clothing.
Yeah.
And because the whole movie takes place in this one location, it's really not you can't really peg what time it's
Time
supposed to
period is,
be.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ryan, what did you think of Mac's head floating from the well
Uh,
and biting Fantasy's buttocks?
that was weird. It was really weird.
Hmm.
Shitty effects, I guess.
Yeah.
Unless were they trying it? Like, were they trying to be funny?
I think so.
Yeah, I have a feeling that it's mostly, like Adam said before, it's mostly tongue in cheek.
I think that it
And
gets it gets a little serious, especially at the end when it gets really really crazy. I think that's supposed to
the
be more
fucking
serious.
the river of blood looks like a river of Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
It looks like fucking and
There were a couple parts that I didn't really understand at the end, and I don't think that we need to be skirting around it because this came out in '77. So
Oh,
shame on you if you haven't seen it yet. So we are going to talk about the end. But at the end, when the River of Blood starts, and it seems like when they break that picture of the cat, that it does something. Like it causes some sort of problem. And then like when the ghost of the aunt like possesses Gorgeous or whatever, she starts freaking out and like bleeding from everywhere. And I thought that was gonna like kill her or stop it, but it doesn't. Like it seemed to hurt her, but then she just went on and ended up killing all of them anyway.
is the cat supposed to be a witch?
Well,
Because they say that
yeah, they
several
said
times.
that. They said if a cat can open doors, that's normal, but if it can close doors, then it's a witch.
Well, that cat does way more than opening closed doors. And it's a very well trained cat, too.
Uh, like I do with some movies, I write down some notes as I am watching them. One word notes.
I wish I would have known that this was happening. I would have watched this again because it's been a couple years removed since I've seen this.
There's a lot that happens in this movie
Oh
that
yeah, I
that
remember
you
it
can
just being
miss.
craziness over and over.
Yeah, especially at the end when it gets just completely insane for
Yeah.
like 3 minutes straight. It's just like strobes and colors and just craziness happening.
Yeah, definitely don't watch this movie if you're prone to seizures.
Yeah, it gets a little crazy at the end, but one of the words I wrote down here was bananas, and I don't know if you remember this, Kevin, but they were planning on having their teacher come visit them at the house, and the teacher couldn't find the house. He stops for directions.
Oh yeah,
And some guy asks him something about like what his favorite fruit is, and he says bananas, and he turns into a pile of bananas. He turns into a banana man. And then the funny part is that
yes.
the guy that asked the question just mysteriously turns into a skeleton and dies.
Yes. That was very out there.
And I just loved the scene when they
That's the
when they
power of
leave,
bananas.
when the one girl leaves the house and you see the the guy's car there and he's there but it's just bananas.
And the sets in this, like
Bananas.
the in the opening scene when they're supposed to be at their house, and well, I guess it's not the opening scene, but near the opening, when her dad introduced her to this new lady who is apparently tied to the witchcraft somehow, but I'm not really sure how. Um, when they meet each other and when they're in the house, it's like a set and a fucking like painting of the sky behind it.
Hmm.
Like you can tell that
Yeah.
they're on a set, not in a real house.
I actually loved the whole set for the house itself, and like just all the rooms and the way it looked outside and stuff. Like I thought that was incredible.
The answer also liked.
Yeah, like I want to live at that house minus the
No,
crazy
no,
ghosts.
you can't. You can't do it that way. I'm sorry.
I
The
like
only way
how
you can live
they
at that house is to have everything included. It's a
Okay.
package deal. Package
Yeah,
deal.
I probably couldn't do it. Although I don't know, it seems like they only go after unmarried girls. So
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think
know.
you should be
So
fine.
if
Just
I
don't
went,
mention bananas, and
yeah,
I think you'll be good.
I really enjoyed the antlers in a wheelchair. And number one, there were like steps in her house all around her house. So how the fuck does she live there when no one else is there with steps ever?
Maybe the
Second of all, like in the middle of the movie, she just gets up and dances around, and that's it for the wheelchair.
so she was just faking it. It's all
yeah.
a ploy.
Yeah.
Well, I think maybe what it was she got up from the wheelchair after she ate Mac.
Uh,
So I think that maybe that was
har-
like her.
harvested her powers.
Yeah, I think she was like regaining her strength from that or something.
When if I eat Mac or another walker, I'll be able to walk.
Yeah, there you go. Just start eating people at random.
I should get
Uh,
some bath salts.
Yeah,
So,
there you go. Well, that actually brings up a good point. This for being like a kind of goofball comedy. This is a pretty dark movie. I mean, she's eating people and essentially murdering these kids.
mhm,
yeah.
mhm. Oh yeah, but
It's and
it's quirky.
it is quirky. Nice.
Oh God.
Uh,
Thank you.
it's quirky, but at the same time, it's pretty dark. A lot of blood too, just blood everywhere.
Call it Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid
Kool-Aid
everywhere.
blood.
Kool-Aid everywhere in this movie. So
Because
Ridiculous
it
amounts of Kool-Aid.
like didn't have the consistency of blood. It had the consistency and color of watered down Kool-Aid.
well,
Well,
sometimes
I like how you say watered down Kool-Aid. How can you water down Kool-Aid? It's already water.
I guess if you add more water to it, it gets
Yeah.
I
lighter in
guess.
color.
I guess. So it's not even red, is what you're saying, right?
Yeah, I mean it's kind of red, but it's not like orange or anything.
It's like the watermelon Kool-Aid,
yeah,
where it's
Like a
lighter.
light,
Yeah.
like a light pink.
watered down blood.
Water.
There you go.
There. Or Kool-Aid. That's a roundabout way of saying Kool-Aid, it seems like.
All right, let's go ahead and give you your drum roll, Ryan. What do you give House?
One.
You son of a bitch.
1 out of 10. Kevin, what do you give House?
I think I gave House like a 6.5. I just thought it was fucking insane
Out of
and a
10?
good time. Yeah, because
Yeah,
I mean I know that his his goal from the outset is not to make like a serious film.
yeah, I had a great time with it. I didn't give it a score, but I'd probably give it like a 6.5. I thought it was a lot of fun, and the interesting thing was that I mean this came out in '77, and it's just one of these movies that feels kind of ahead of its time.
So wait, what did you give The Purge?
Uh,
Read that?
The Purge, I did review it.
Would you give The Purge?
I don't know. Hold on, and I'll look it up.
What did Ryan give The Purge?
I'm just hold on now. Hold on. I'll tell you after he tells me.
Oh, you're gonna change it up?
No, I want to know if why he would rate this near The Purge.
I gave the Purge I gave the Purge a 4 out of 10.
So you were telling me that you would rate this higher than The Purge.
Yes, yes, I would. They're two different movies.
Yeah, you can't look
Purge,
at a 4 and a 6.5 as one being better than the other.
House achieved exactly what it set out to do, which was make a crazy, surreal, absurd horror comedy. The Purge failed at everything that it tried to do on every single level.
It sounds like it should be lower than a 4.
Well, the thing about The Purge, and I'm sure that I talked about this before on the show, is that the premise in and of itself is actually really cool, and the movie starts off really cool.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I do remember you.
But once it turns into the typical home invasion thriller, and the end I thought was terrible, like just terrible. But comparing the two, if I had to, I would say I enjoyed myself with House more, just because it was so ridiculous. Like I was laughing through the whole thing.
It is pure insanity.
I see.
And I like that kind of stuff. I like absurd, weird stuff.
Yeah, it's essentially just a horror comedy made by children.
I'll buy it.
You'll buy it?
I'll buy it.
I mean, my scores don't reflect what I think everybody should say about it, but it's just kind of my personal taste with it. I mean, a lot of people like House. I mean,
Because it's just batshit insane.
yeah. I mean, this is on Criterion, and a lot of people. I feel like I see tons of people wearing the T-shirt. You know, the orange T-shirt with the cat face, and a lot of people consider this a cult classic.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So, all right. Any final thoughts on House, Ryan?
I would don't even fucking watch this because you might die of a seizure. And it's not worth it.
Yeah, people with epilepsy maybe should stay away from it. Now, I guess we should probably briefly mention Insidious Chapter 2.
Ooh.
Ryan, I know that you're interested. Kevin, I know that you're absolutely not. But
Ooh.
I'm interested in it.
I'm
Fuck
so
yeah, bitch.
excited.
I think that you need to see The Conjuring, Kevin. And
I do want to see The Conjuring.
maybe you'll change your tone a little bit after The
Yeah,
Conjuring.
we'll see.
Have you seen?
It's one of the very few horror movies that actually scared me.
Okay.
Well, I saw it in the theater, and it scared the shit out of me. So
Okay. I laughed a lot.
I think maybe it's just one to see in the theater. Like The Conjuring scared the shit out of me too, but that again, I saw that in the theater. When it comes out on Blu-ray or whatever, and I watch it again, I don't think I'll be as scared.
Well,
Or-
plus you've seen it already.
That's true. That's true.
Or
but
maybe watch it alone. Because I watched Insidious alone. And it terrified me.
well, actually, that reminds me. I was watching House last night, and I was watching it in bed, and it was pretty late. And the scene when the girl's fingers get cut off, and she holds them up, and then like they add this kind of animated like graphic over top of the stubs, and right when that happened, the smoke alarm went off in my house, and it scared the shit out of me. because I had no idea what was going on.
Yes, I love when that happens.
Yeah. So
But yeah, for me, Insidious Chapter 2, oh, I have no interest in it whatsoever. That
I
to me, Insidious was it started out pretty good, and then it just got more ridiculous. Like I didn't find any of the demons or ghosts or whatever the hell they were supposed to be frightening at all. They just looked comical to me.
well,
Oh,
see, I
that
could
old
have.
lady in the veil freaked me out.
I didn't see
I
that.
like the scene when he goes in and the family's watching TV and they're like
Yeah, I
frozen.
like that part too.
And then, of course, when it got to I can't remember what they called it. When he started, like, what was it, like walking through the dreams or whatever world that they
Oh,
were in?
the Nether? Is that what
Yeah.
it's called?
Yeah. When that whole sequence started, that was just the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
I wasn't a big fan of that
It
either.
was
Like
absolutely terrible.
the actual demon itself, I wasn't a big fan of that. But everything else I thought was great. And the unfortunately with The Conjuring, after I saw The Conjuring, I had far less interest in seeing Insidious Chapter 2 because essentially the movies are very similar, right?
Mhm.
And after The Conjuring, I was like, okay, well, that's it. I don't need to see Insidious Chapter 2 because what he did here with The Conjuring, there's no way that he can top it.
Yeah.
Like that this is the best it can get, I think. So, I actually have less interest in seeing Insidious Chapter 2 because of The Conjuring. But, I'll still see it. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Let's
Ring
see
your
it.
endorsement. That'd be fine.
I want to see it and get the shit scared out of me.
Yeah, I mean
I
it's
Again.
want to I want to see you get the shit scared out of you
I know
watching
I
Insidious.
want to see you in a theater and like get really scared just jump out of your chair.
This is what I want to do. I want
We'll
to take you
see.
to the movie theater. I'm going to take you out of your wheelchair, put you in a seat, and then I'm going to sit in your wheelchair just facing you. Like I'm not even going to watch the film. I'm just going to watch you the whole
Well, that's what
time.
we need to do. We need to get his like GoPro set up and just point it at him and then
I,
watch it.
I could do that, but they would bitch about
Oh
that.
yeah, you couldn't do that, but oh well. All right,
What
well
if I could do that in my house?
you could
Oh,
probably do it in your house, yeah.
I wouldn't see why not. Yeah, like that's
There's gonna be an usher that comes in. No, no. He just puts his hand on your shoulder and shakes his head.
my neighbor,
Sir,
my
put it away.
neighbor just walks in my door, says no, and then walks away.
slaps the
Uh,
GoPro out of your hand and knocks over the tripod.
you get this back after the movie's over. All right, well, I think that wraps it up. For all the latest film news and reviews, visit us at filmpulse.net. Send us an email at feedback@filmpulse.net. Follow us on Twitter @filmpulse.net, and be sure to rate us on iTunes. We appreciate that very much. For filmpulse.net, my name is Adam,
I'm Kevin.
And I'm run.
and we will see you on Monday.
Later.
Oh, God.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.